The reason why you guys struggle to keep a woman attracted when you develop feelings, yeah, and why she turns into this bossy, nagging, unpleasant dragon to be with is because you guys fucking turn into a Kevin and you lose your frame. Now, what the fuck does frame mean? Because this is vague concept, right? Frame in the context of relationships, guys, is like fundamentally just your ability to evaluate the reality that is being communicated to you before accepting it. Which means, aka, like thinking critically, bro. What I observe in all of you guys when you join the program is that whenever you are with a woman that you love, you treat her input, yeah, female input, so to say, as the ultimate truth. Aka, you pedestalize her and her opinion of you. Meaning that whatever she says is, in your point of view, unconsciously or consciously true. It is the ultimate truth. So you change your behavior because you believe that her opinion matters more than your own opinion. I call this the Kevin loop, basically. So what happens? Let's say she says you're insecure for setting a boundary, right? You, because you are now turning into Kevin because of childhood trauma and programming from Hollywood and yada yada yada, you completely lose your ability to question whether or not what she says is actually right. Is it true? Or is it just an opinion that she has? So you have the Kevin glasses on, which are the glasses of unquestioned beliefs and the ultimate truth of whatever she says, meaning that her input, whatever she says, aka you're insecure or you're controlling, you don't evaluate that anymore. You just accept it as the ultimate truth. So her reality of the relationship is the absolute truth. Therefore, you must obey, meaning you turn her reality into the ultimate reality of the relationship and you absorb her reality, meaning that you automatically accept whatever she says to be the truth. Which leads to the following. Her reality becomes your reality, meaning that you adjust all your behavior to her reality, to cater to her reality, meaning that you start deploying what I call destructive behavior, Kevin behavior. By the way, man, if you enjoyed this, you would love working with me. Click the link in the description, apply for a call with me. I'd love to help you develop amazing frames so that you can attract any woman and keep her attracted forever. Start pleasing her. You stop saying no. You stop like sharing your true opinion. You're like not playful anymore. You're super serious. You're walking on eggshells. You're afraid to lose her. And because you're afraid to lose her, you do all these things. Because that is the source of the Kevin glasses. You never questioned your beliefs. You never questioned why you're insecure. You never questioned why you're so afraid of losing her. If she's such a dragon to be with, why would you want to be with her? Well, granted, okay, you turned her into a dragon because you attract what you tolerate. But why would you want to keep living this way? Well, because maybe back in the days, your mom, she had a bad experience with your dad, and now she says all men are pig. My grandma used to say that. She raised me, right? So for the first 20 years of my fucking life, I thought, you know what? I don't want to be like this bad man like that my grandpa was, so I want to be a different guy. But I never questioned whether what my grandma said was actually true. I never got to hear the other side of the story. So I turned into this Kevin, this nice guy, this pleasing pussy who like just wanted to make a woman happy. But I completely sacrificed my own happiness. So in order to stop being a Kevin, yeah, and stop turning every relationship into a fucking shit show that dies by 1,000 cuts, basically, you need to learn to train your pattern recognition machine to think like a Hercules. The pattern recognition machine is your fucking brain. So you need to train your pattern recognition to identify different patterns. How do you do that? By questioning your fucking beliefs, by questioning whether or not your childhood programming, Hollywood conditioning and whatnot is actually true. And instead of accepting her truth to be the ultimate truth, aka her reality is right, so I must be wrong, You ask yourself, well, how can I view her reality through a different lens, aka the lens of my standards, my principles, my vision, my self-respect? And suddenly you go from her reality is the absolute truth to evaluating her reality, assessing whether or not what she says is true. Like, you ask yourself, like, is it true what she's saying? How much evidence is there actually that this is true what she's saying? Do I agree with this? Do I feel like she's being unreasonable? Do I feel like that she's actually just testing me right now? Do I feel like she's just creating drama for no reason? Do I feel like maybe she's overreacting? Those are questions you gotta ask yourself every time she brings up something, so that you can actually reliably evaluate whether or not the female input she's giving you is actually true or not. Because sometimes, most of the time, to be fair, 95% of the time, what women say and what they want and what they need is completely two different things. I'm not saying that everything she says is wrong or right. All I'm saying is I want you to have the ability, or develop the ability, to question the reality that she's trying to impose on you, to evaluate that reality, and then make a conscious decision. AKA, do I agree? Do I disagree? And what are my next steps if I agree or if I disagree? How do you respond? Well, that depends heavily on the situation. So for example, if she says that she feels like not seen, she feels like you never have time for her, and she feels like she's being completely neglected. Now, in that moment, you just assess this, right? You ask yourself, okay, how true is this? What is happening? Yada, yada, yada. But because it is a bid for connection, it's a request to be seen, you acknowledge her, you label her emotions, and then you respond. Because her reality might be true. That's how she perceives and experiences reality. However, your reality is also true. Both of your realities can be true. In that moment, all that matters is that you acknowledge your reality, and then you two come to a point of where you agree how you can work through this together rather than attacking each other. However, there might be a compliance test that comes at you, that she throws at you, like, oh, you never take the trash out. Or, for example, oh, Jessica's husband would do this. That's a shit test. You don't acknowledge that shit, because that would validate bad behavior. That would encourage bad behavior, right? So we want to punish bad behavior and we want to encourage good behavior. A woman reaching out to connect with you and telling her that she feels unseen, telling you that she feels unseen, that's great behavior. We want to encourage that because we want her to open up. Her shit testing you, bad behavior, we want to punish that and we don't want to acknowledge that. So you see how your response is completely situational. And do you also understand why it is so important not to learn fucking lines and like frame or like scripts and shit like that? Because that shit doesn't work and it's fucking retarded. What actually you need to develop is the fucking authentic self and the ability to think on your feet and question the reality that's being imposed onto you, and then create your own reality. And the more you question the reality that she puts onto you, the more you realize that most of the stuff that she's doing is just a test, and she actually wants you to fucking step up as a man. And the more you do that, the more you respond as a Hercules rather than a Kevin, you'll notice that she will stop trying to impose her reality on you. She's going to come around more often. She's going to be way softer and more feminine around you until most of the drama disappears, and she's going to become super lovey-dovey and your biggest cheerleader, because you finally showed her that you're fucking strong, a reliable, trustworthy leader, a trustworthy CEO, rather than a fucking customer service representative. Yeah. When you are the CEO of the relationship because of the frame or the ability of questioning reality and developing a rock solid frame, and you becoming the CEO, that's when she becomes the chief operating officer, who is lovey-dovey, there to support you, has also her own ambition and her own dreams that she's gonna like follow through, but she's not gonna create drama because you two have a bigger vision going on, which is to create the most amazing relationship, which she can only do with a guy who is a Hercules and not a fucking Kevin, aka a man who never questions her reality, basically. By the way, man, if you enjoyed this, you would love working with me. Click the link in the description, apply for a call with me. I'd love to help you develop amazing frames so that you can attract any woman and keep her attracted forever.